morning, everyone. Welcome to Speak Menopause. Today is July 1st. It's Canada Day, and I'm so happy to be launching the first tool in our Speak Menopause new platform. So, some of you, many of you, have actually watched the script tips video and taken the masterclass. And also, many of you have also practiced how you prepare for your health appointments, used the script tips or adapted them to improve your own health outcomes. So, I first want to express all my gratitude for everyone who has been on this journey with us. And if you are new to the concept of script tips, what I'm going to do today is walk you through why and how we got here, and then invite everyone to take our new script tips tool for a test drive and practice it and use it and give us your feedback. And as you are doing that, we are also going to be launching new tools. I'm calling them health decision making tools. They are interactive. They are something that you can augment your learning with. And it's something you can take directly into your health appointment with the ultimate goal of improving that conversation, reducing the disappointment and dismissal rate, and ultimately achieving a health outcome that is aligned with your health goals. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get started. I'm going to go back to the very beginning and explain how the whole concept of Speak Menopause came to be. So, if you don't know me yet, my name is Shirley Weir. I am the founder of Menopause Chicks, and Menopause Chicks was started as a education platform in 2012. So it'll be 14 years this fall. I absolutely have the best job on the planet. I love what I do. And part of what I do is provide a translation service. So I take evidence-based information, the research, and I always try to translate that into information that you can use to make your own best health decisions. And in that regard, I look at menopause as a language. So I always tell people I speak menopause. And you can always probably relate to what it feels like to be maybe in a situation where you don't speak the language and how confusing that can be to achieve your goals. And then when you do run into someone who speaks the same language, it's just so much more comforting. You're confident in navigating your journey. And so I use the parallels to menopause as a language a lot. Just get started here. So going back, it's a few years now. It's probably 7 or 8 years ago. A study was published here in British Columbia, where I live, called the In Her Words study. And it is still available for you to read at inherwords.ca. It's very relevant today. And this study, even though it was published in 2018 or 2019, shows up as lived experience in the Menopause Chicks community all the time. In fact, like I could say that almost the majority of menopause chicks found me because they had a health experience that was disappointing or felt dismissive to them, or they didn't quite, the conversation didn't lead them to the health outcome that they were looking for. So, what happened in the In Her Words study was it really shone a glaring light on the fact that over half of women leave we leave our health appointments feeling dismissed or disappointed. And you might say, oh, yeah, yeah. But as we were able to pull the layers of the onion back on these statistics, it really showed the fact that this number is even higher for certain subsets of our population. For example, Indigenous women and women of color, numbers are even higher than 54%. And this was looking at the demographic of women that mirrors the menopause chicks community, age 45 to 64. And then the next layer after that was the fact that for those people who were feeling dismissed or disappointed at their health appointment, the top two reasons for their visit in the first place was menstruation or menopause. So I had this lived experience. The research verified it. And, I remember being at the press conference for this information, which is kind of like surprising, not surprising, overwhelming. And it very quickly can lead to well, what are we going to do about it? Someone should do something about it. We should get more doctors. We need more doctors' education. We need to change the curriculum at medical school. And, you can see how all of those thoughts would very quickly land in someone who's receiving this information for the first time or again for the first time. And all of those things are true. But as I sat in the press conference and heard this information, I was like, yeah, except I don't have any influence over doctors' continuing medical education. And I don't have any influence over changing curriculum at medical school necessarily. But I do have influence over a community that has, over 61,000 members now who many of them either personally or know someone who has experienced disappointment or dismissal in their health appointments. What can we do to change this? And so that is how the whole concept of Speak Menopause and specifically the Script Tips tool came to be. Ultimate goal is we want all of us to be able to have access to the information and education that we deserve so that we can walk into our health appointments feeling informed and confident to navigate that conversation and to understand what is on the menu. You walk in there, and if you don't have any idea of what your approved available options are, it is going to be more challenging for you to understand if what you decided or what you and your doctor decided is actually the right thing for you. And so I want everyone to be able to walk into that appointment and use it as a partnership conversation. Really to be able to say, this is what I understand to be true. And will you work with me to help me decide the pros and cons of each of these treatment options? Or will you work with me to help me decide what will be best for me, given all of my other health experiences or health history? So jumping ahead with, in the middle here is like, at the beginning, we have the statistics. We have a big problem to solve. We have a big gap. We're working on it. Doctors are leaning in to menopause education. Consumers like you are leaning into menopause education. The gap will narrow, but we still have a very large chasm to cross. When I started the script tip research, one of the things I found was that very few of us, were preparing for our health appointments at all, beyond being prepared to download a list of symptoms. And secondly, it is possible that with a lack of structure or lack of method for preparing for this appointment, that could be contributing to the dismissal or the disappointing outcome. And so we tried to take that scenario and flip it on its side a bit, and it landed with two acronyms. So GAP, GAP, and SPEAK, SPEAK. Now, this is a model. You do not have to follow it to a T if that doesn't work for you, but it's a concept that can help you prepare, and then you can adapt it for yourself. And like time out today. I'm going to be sharing a digital version of this model that I'm inviting you to try. And you can just play around with it, or if you actually have a health appointment coming up in the next few weeks, give it a try and then report back and let me know how it worked for you. Okay. So let's walk through just what the acronym means and then we'll play with an example. So GAP, G is for goal. So rather than beginning your appointment by saying, here's the 90 symptoms that I found on Dr. Google, you want to begin your appointment with the goal. What do you want to walk out of the appointment? When it's over, what will success look like? So examples would be, the goal of my appointment today is to discuss an approved treatment for my insomnia. The goal of my appointment today is to discuss the benefits of menopause hormone therapy for me. The goal of my appointment today is to land on a solution for my heavy bleeding. The goal of my appointment today is to get a prescription for vaginal estrogen because I need to prevent reoccurring UTIs. Okay, so those are all examples. A is age and P is date of last period. Why do I ask for this information all the time when you are posting your questions in the Menopause Chicks community or when you're going to discuss your health with a member of your health team? Because age and date of last period immediately plots us on our reproductive timeline. Okay. So if you are 36 and your period, was last week, that is different from someone who is maybe 60 and hasn't had a period for 5 years. 36-year-old still ovulating, still getting a period. Maybe it's not estrogen and progesterone. Maybe it's the beginning of progesterone decline. These are the things that the physician that you're speaking with might be, already starting to formulate once they have this information. The other reason why I love consumers or patients to begin by talking about their age and their period is it allows to keep eye contact. If you're meeting in person or online, it just allows the practitioner to not have to look through their notes or flip through their EMR to actually find how old are you again? And do you still have a period? If you reached menopause, right? They're trying to formulate how this appointment is going to go so that they can deliver the best outcome for you. So begin with your goal and then your age and then your date of last period. Now we move into the acronym SPEAK, SPEAK. S is for symptoms. We're all pretty good at this. But there's some tips that we can add into that. For example, probably don't want to say, here's the 90 pages that I downloaded off of Dr. Google, or I heard on Instagram that these symptoms might be menopause. I really want you to go in there and speak confidently. And that's where the masterclass has become beneficial, or reading Feel Amazing and knowing that, if you flip to page 14 to 16, you can see that the symptoms that you're experiencing are directly related to progesterone decline, i.e., changes to mood, changes to sleep, and changes to bleeding, or maybe they're directly related to fluctuation or decline in estrogen. Maybe you're having joint pain, frozen shoulder, vaginal dryness, absolutely related to that decline in estrogen. So my goal, my job is to make sure that you can walk into that appointment feeling both informed and confident to describe your symptoms. P, the second P, stands for impact. This is the place that all of us were missing in our health appointments. So, of the 10,000 women that have gone through the Menopause Chicks Masterclass, and many of them have tried the script tips, they were great at describing their symptoms. We were less great across the board at describing the impact that it has to our quality of life. So, what I mean by that is if you describe your symptoms, how you are suffering, or how your quality of life is disrupted, it leaves an opening for judgment. And this is like not a bad thing. It's just that many of us interpret, for example, lack of sleep as, oh, no one's sleeping. We just went through a pandemic. What do you mean you're not sleeping? No one is. Or I didn't sleep for 4 or 5 years in medical school. And your job, because you're driving your own health bus, your job is to explain to your health team or your doctor, your nurse practitioner, your prescriber, whoever you're meeting with, how those symptoms impact you. So important. So I mean, I remember when I was younger and friends would say to me, oh, I'm having a heavy period. I didn't know what that meant. But if they had have said, I'm having a heavy period and I can't go an hour. I'm a customer service rep and I'm having difficulty staying in my chair for an hour without bleeding through a Super Plus tampon. That's impact, right? So now, if you were to say that to your healthcare provider, now they see, oh, this is a problem that Shirley is having, and I need to offer her all of the solutions and find the best one for her today because her job is being impacted, which could impact her income. If it's an insomnia example, impact might be, I've been experiencing insomnia for the last 6 months, and it is now impacting my ability to care for my aging father. I'm responsible for younger people at home. I've got a full-time job and I'm looking after an aging parent. And the fact that I'm not sleeping is affecting my ability. I'm shorter with him. I'm losing my patience. I don't have the physical energy, whatever it is. It's your story. Just describe the impact that it's having to your quality of life, to your work, to your income, to your relationships. The EAK can be optional, but I hope you'll give it a good college try. So, E is education. I think this is a great way to show up with confidence. It is okay. It is more than okay for us to say, I've been investing in my own health education, and this is what I've learned. So recently, I learned that, and this is just an example, but you might want to say, recently, I learned that vaginal estrogen is approved for the prevention of reoccurring UTIs. Recently, I learned that the definition of insomnia is having difficulty falling asleep 3 or more times a week. So it's just a short statement. You don't have to give the whole masterclass, but you can say something that is really relevant to the story and why you're there today. And then A is for affirmation. So I love to put an affirmation in there. It can be inserted anywhere in the conversation, but this might be something like, I know that I deserve 7 hours of sleep every night. Or I know that I am not meant to pee my pants. I know that I deserve to feel amazing. I know that I need to prevent reoccurring urinary tract infections because if I keep coming back for antibiotics, they might become less effective. Plus, it's disrupting my life. So, whatever that affirmation is for you. And then K is for key next steps. And this is like an invitation, or in the marketing world, we call it a call to action. But this is like, okay, now I've given you my story, and can you please work with me to decide what the key next steps would be? And that's it. You're inviting collaboration. You're inviting them onto your health team to work with you. So previously, this was very analog. This looks like if you remember ad libs from when we were kids, where you could fill in the blank to create a story. Very analog. You might love this, so you can take a screenshot of this, or if you need me to send it to you, I would be happy to. If you like a paper version, that's fine. This is an example of how we might fill it in. And I used a bad example at the top there, but it was one that was shared with me by one of our members who said, she loved her doctor and she couldn't believe that she wasn't getting the results that she wanted, but she loved him. They had a great rapport. Every appointment that she went into, she was, they would update each other on how their kids were doing. And I'm like, okay, time out. That's great. It's great that you like each other. But inside of an 8 to 10 minute appointment, please don't spend the first 6 minutes talking about your kids. Move the conversation about your children to the end of the appointment after you've done the business that you are there to do. So, yeah, instead of saying, yeah, my kids are good. How are yours? Yeah, great. I want you to sit down or walk in and say, I'm here today to discuss my sleep. As you know, I'm 57 and my last period was in 2016. My primary concerns include the impact insomnia is having on my work life. For example, in the past month, I've missed 3 days of work, and this is impacting my bank account. You can see how that second P suddenly really lands. Recently, I've been investing in my own health education, and I've learned that there are new approved treatments for insomnia. And I've also learned that sleep is not something I should tackle on my own. I'm here to ask for help. I want to explore the benefits of cognitive behavior therapy versus taking a sleep aid. And I know that I deserve to feel better than I currently do. So I'm inviting you to work with me so that I can understand all of my options. Will you walk me through the pros and cons of what's on the menu for insomnia treatment? And that's it. Um, and you can take this and you can adapt. There's a heavy bleeding example as well. You can adapt it to suit your personality. You can adapt it to suit your own situation or perhaps your previous relationship with your healthcare provider. So I'm going to switch screens now. This is a QR code that takes you right to the script tips. It's a temporary home for the script tips tool. Soon I will be adding more tools to this. So I have menopause hormone therapy, every brand name, the molecular structure, the questions that you can ask. It's going to look like a shopping cart where you can actually create a list and take it with you, save it to your phone, or take it with you into your appointment. I have menopause hormone therapy, non-hormone therapy, iron deficiency, planning your vulva, vaginal, and pelvic health, and a new one, which will be coming out probably closer to the fall, on how to build your health team. So this is a very important conversation right now because I think we're kind of at that crossroads where, yeah, everything here is designed for you to be able to work with your primary healthcare provider. If you have one. If you don't have one, or you're interested in adding a menopause care specialist to your team, this tool will help you. But it might also open up other ideas and opportunities for you to consider, not consider, you're going to add a pelvic floor physiotherapist to your team, or maybe a registered dietitian, or maybe another practitioner. So that's to come. But right now, if you want to grab this QR code on your phone, and then you can practice filling out the script tips as it relates to your current situation. And if you do have a health appointment, as I said, please take it for a test drive and report back and let me know how it went for you. Okay, so just let me switch screens here for 1 second. Okay, so this is where you're going to land. I'm on a desktop right now, but it is also available or will work on your mobile device. It is great if you can watch the video first. I've got the video here. Also great. I'll put a link here for the Menopause Chicks Masterclass. So if you're new here and you want to go back to the basics of understanding the roles and responsibilities of your hormones when cycles are regular, so that you can be in the best position to make decisions when cycles are no longer regular, that will also be another great precursor to being able to use this tool to serve you in the best best way possible. Anyway, so it takes the acronym GAPSPEAK and allows you to fill in the blanks. So I'm just going to put my name in here. Let's say that I am here today to discuss heavy bleeding, and then I'll move on to the next section, which is my age. So I'll pretend I'm 59, but let me pretend that I'm 49, experiencing heavy bleeding. And my last period was 1.5 months ago. You can put anything in here that works for you and your script. And then you are going to describe your symptoms. So if you are someone who is experiencing heavy bleeding, you might use this exact example actually that I have in here. I'm experiencing progesterone decline. This is showing up as changes to my mood, changes to my sleep, and for the last year, very heavy bleeding. Or you might say, I'm experiencing heavy bleeding, and with that, extreme fatigue. Because most people who bleed, and especially heavy bleeding, are probably going to be iron deficient or low in ferritin, so fatigue and exhaustion. Okay. And so this is impacting my life in that I have no energy to exercise, and it's probably impacting my work. So I can select more than one in this category. This is the impact. So important. Don't skip the second P. And then education, you could say, how about, let's check fatigue, exhaustion, hair loss, brain fog. Those are all common symptoms of iron deficiency. And then the affirmation, I'm going to select, I know I deserve to feel better than I'm feeling right now. I know I deserve to feel amazing. And so what I want to talk to you about is progesterone. I want to review progesterone therapy, and I'm going to type something else in the other section. So, my friend got an IUD, and I'm wondering if that's good for me. Wondering if that is good for me, right? Okay, so this is a way for you to also remember everything that you do want to discuss with your care provider. And now I'm going to click generate my script, and there it is. This is it. All the underlined sections are what you filled in, and you can then edit it so that it really works for you and your personality. You can print it or save it to your phone. So this would be like a PDF if I did that. Let me see how I get back. Oh dear. I knew that would happen. Okay, don't give me one sec. And you can email it to yourself. So I like to do this because then you know that you've got a copy of it in your email. You can even put it into the Menopause Chicks folder on your in your email program. But so this is me, Shirley at Menopause Chicks. Oops, can't type when people are watching me. And send it to your inbox. And then also it's easy for you to find if your appointment isn't for a few days. So that's it. That's it. That's what I wanted to share with you. I'm so excited to also introduce the tools that are coming soon. The menopause hormone therapy is, and non-hormone therapy is super important in the time that we're living in right now because consumers have more information and education than ever before. So I don't want to take up any more of your time today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll post the link so that you can take the script tips for a test drive and go and enjoy your Canada Day.